Good morning, everybody. I got me a Pepsi Zero out of my main refrigerator and I happened to forget it. You hear my Roomba running? I'm sorry about that. I'm walking through the house. I wanted to come out here. I've kind of been thinking about a subject that I always used to wonder about before I became such an avid pet mom, which I always was, but on this grand of a scale. Looking to see if Pet Dad's back from town yet. He's not. So, there's a few things that I wanted to talk about. I don't know if I've got enough, let me swap to my earbuds. I don't know if I've got enough information printed off, and I kind of don't need notes, but I kind of do too. What in the world? I think I have my earbuds swapped out wrong. Maybe I don't know. Hang on, I'll be back. Okay. So, what I wanted to talk about today is a subject I used to wonder about years ago. Now I know. Trying to make my hair not look as thin as it is. Which is, can I catch worms for my dog or my cat? And of course, common sense would tell you you likely can. And before I start touching on this article here, I'm not even sure where I printed this off from. yourpetandyou.elanco.com is my first source of information, which I have many. But here's the article. I printed off several things. And all I want to say is, before I start reading, is when I take my girls to the vet, I always had them heartworm tested and worm tested. But now, they used to give me heartworm chews to give to them once a month, every 6 months, and then I'd refill, or once a year, give them to them once a month every year. Most of the time, no dog I've ever had wanted to chew those things. I don't know. Some people's dogs love them. And so in the last 2 years, they've told me at my vet about a worm shot. I'll try to sit still. My swing makes noise. A worm shot that they can give them. I don't remember what the name is. I'd have to look on their vet records. But that shot, I believe, is like $105 for 1 year. But those HeartGuard wormer chews were $150, upwards of $150, I think, a year, maybe every 6 months. I can't remember. They were expensive, which that's fine, because they need to be wormed. If you're gonna kiss your dogs, let them kiss you on the mouth when, whether you're knowing they're going to or not. You have to make sure your dogs are wormed. If you're going to have them around children, their feces, there's a lot to think about with that. And if you're just going to have your dog in your house, I'm sorry about the dogs barking. There's just not a lot I can do about that. We got neighbors that's got dog friends of theirs, and when they see them, they bark at them. Anyway, if you're going to have your dogs around your food, around your children, if you're going to pet your dog, love your dog, treat your dog like family, you're going to need to make sure that you try to keep them from having parasites. So anyway, I'll give you a little bit of this information off of this one source that I had printed out. Girls, sorry, this is real. Okay. Can I catch worms for my dog or cat? worms can pose a risk to you too. Most of us do deworm our pets to save them from discomfort, but it's also important to reduce the amount of eggs these parasites shed in our soil or our dirt. When eggs are present in the environment, they can reinfect our pets and us. Keep reading to learn more about the parasites you and your pet could catch. Now, I'm not going to read this information. I'm kind of going on stuff I already know. If you take your dog to a dog park, you definitely need to be sure your dogs are wormed to here, because everybody doesn't do that. There's a lot of people I know that say they cannot afford the vet, but they're awesome people, but their priorities are a little out of whack. If you can afford to go waste money on whatever, eating out every day, or if you can, buy everybody else and, all these grown people things, that also can buy their own things, like I do. No, if you can afford to waste money anywhere, you can afford to make sure your dog goes to the vet. I have been in the position in my lifetime where I really could not afford the vet. And the only time I could was when the dog was sick. That was when I first got married, 146 years ago. But you have to get your priorities in order. If you're going to have a pet, you need to be able to afford it. If you're going to take one in, you may not be able to afford it, but you still, my goodness, make sure that they have dewormer, because that can cause all kind of problems. Humans can pick up roundworms from a lot of places, so it's important to know where they're most prevalent and to follow up with good hygiene practices. Like wash your hands. If you're going to clean up after your dog, if your dog's not real housebroken, or if your dog is real housebroken and just has an accident sometimes, if your dog's around other dogs, wash your hands before you eat, before you touch anything. If you've walked somewhere barefooted, you might ought to get checked yourself, because you can get worms from walking around where there are worms in the soil, and they are. So there's that. All puppies and kittens are considered infected with roundworms. They just are. Puppies can actually be born with them. And that, I know, is if the mom's wormy, the puppies will be born with them. Puppies and kittens can get infected from drinking their mother's milk. When they're infected, they can shed thousands upon thousands of microscopic roundworm eggs in their feces, which is poop, for those of you that don't know that. When we can unknowingly ingest those without realizing it. This is why it's so important to promptly pick up and discard your pet's feces, washing your hands thoroughly afterward. Now, myself, when I've housebroken my dogs, even now they're very, very well housebroken, but I keep a bucket of mop water, and I keep 2 or 3 mop heads. I use those spin mops because that way I don't even have to touch the water. But what I do is I sometimes make up my mop water with real strong white vinegar, because that is a real good disinfectant naturally. Or I will put just a little bit of bleach in my mop water, just a little, not enough to hurt anything. And then I mop my floors like that. And then if you want them shiny, then do something shiny after you mop them with something that will disinfect or kill anything that might have come in on your dog's feet, or if your dog is not real housebroken, or if your dog had an accident because it was sick or whatever. But just always consider, don't be a clean freak, but consider that you could have parasite eggs coming in your house from somewhere, and just be sure you keep rid of them, and that'll make your dog healthier too, and as well as you. But it's very important to promptly clean up after your pet and throw away the feces somewhere. Like I keep an outside can for outside, anything that I might throw away, food that smells or anything, I throw it outside in a metal trash can with a lid on it. Roundworms can cause diseases in humans, and if we unknowingly eat the microscopic eggs that infected cats and dogs shed in their feces, it will infect us. If stools are not picked up by owners, any parasite eggs present will disperse in the grass and the soil as the stool decays. Always use a bag to collect your pet's feces. Use gloves when cleaning the litter box, and keep your garden or your yard in America free of dog waste. I bought a huge box of pet waste disposable bags when I got the dogs when they were puppies. And I mean, they were like $8 for, I don't know, about 12 rows of bags, and I've still got 10 of them left. So that shows you how cheap they are. That was on Amazon. Also, you can get Walmart bags that you don't use. You know, you bought groceries in them. You can get those and use those for pet waste bags. Put like 2, because some of those Walmart bags do have a hole in them to disperse air. So roundworm eggs can survive in soil for years. Did you know that? And people can come in contact with them by eating improperly washed food like salad greens or vegetables, root vegetables like carrots and things. Young children are at risk of infection if they play outside in the dirt and don't wash their hands after they come in. Or even if they stay outside and they touch their mouth or put something in their mouth with dirty hands. Roundworm eggs in the soil can occasionally stick to your pet's fur, especially if your dog or cat likes to dig. Just one good reason to always bathe your pet after a trip to the dog park or hiking. Tapeworms are long, segmented worms that live in the intestine. Small segments break off and are passed in your pet's feces. These segments, which can sometimes be seen moving, and that's happened to me before I bought a boxer dog one time. I had her whole life, and I loved her like family, just like I do my Doodles. And when I first bought her, that guy that was selling the dogs told me, "Oh, they've been wormed. They've had all their wormer up to this age, and blah blah blah." So my dog right off got car sick. I'd say within 2 weeks after I got her. And she started throwing up in the back of the car. She was in the back seat riding. And it was nothing but cups and cups worth of worms. That's all it was big round balls of live worms. I was horrified. I had never seen anything like that. So if your pet has tapeworms, you may see tiny white segments that look like grains of rice slowly moving around in their waist or stuck to their back end. I saw a groomer lady that I watch online that was grooming a dog, a free groom on the dog, because she does those every once in a while for people that can't afford to have their dog groomed, but their dog desperately needs groomed. And there were worms falling out of that dog's behind, falling out alive while she was working. And she keeps wormer there to treat those kind of dogs, and then she sends more wormer home with the dog for free. And the dog was also just infested with fleas, and they can also get sick from that. But anyway, dogs and cats can become infected with tapeworms by swallowing infected fleas or hunting rodents and rabbits. This can lead to an itchy bottom, causing your pet to scoot along on the ground, which I call dragging their muffler. If you see your dog take off across the room, just like able to walk on its behind with its feet straight out, it's scratching itself, and it's likely got worms. If it's dragging its muffler, it needs help. This is an attempt to relieve the itch from it. Symptoms of a tapeworm infection can also include weight loss and gastrointestinal upset, though animals will often not show you any symptoms at all. Humans can catch tapeworms, I can't talk today, from their pets in a few ways. Humans can get infected with one type of tapeworm called Echinococcus if they unknowingly ingest the eggs that have contaminated an area through a dog's feces. Ingesting fleas. It's also possible for tapeworms to be transmitted directly from pets to humans. We can become infected with a flea tapeworm if we eat an infected flea by accident. often through playing or sleeping with our pets. So know if you sleep with your pets, which Roxy sleeps with us, the other two don't. They're hot-natured. They sleep wherever they want to. But you definitely need your dogs to be wormed if you sleep with them. You just need to. Hookworms. Pets can pick up hookworms, thin, short worms with a sharp mouth that hook into the lining of the intestine and feed off of blood. By eating the small worm-like infective stages found in the soil, they can become infected from eating small mammals. Symptoms of hookworms aren't common in adult cats and dogs, but can be more serious in young dogs and cats and include diarrhea, lethargy, and anemia. Here's how you could come in contact with hookworms. Hookworms can also affect people if we walk across a contaminated area in bare feet. The microscopic size infective worm stages can burrow into our skin and cause irritation. I'm reading this because I don't want to give you any misinformation, but I know it a little bit, and I want to give you enough information so you'll know how important this is, just to help you and your children out, your family out. Wear shoes whenever walking on damp sand or soil to reduce the risk of a hookworm infection. So again, if you're going to the dog park, have shoes on. If you're going to the beach, I know that sand feels awesome between your toes and everything, but unless that sand's been burning hot recently, I would have some kind of shoes on, flip-flops, something. You can deal with pet worms in a range of ways. Worming products for your pets, for your dog or cat, include a spot-on treatment and tablets. Deworming products kill the parasite inside your pet, which then passes with their stool. Deworming your pet helps protect them from further damage and discomfort caused by worms. Your pet can help you find the right product for your pet and also set up a regular deworming schedule to help protect them in the future. Now, the last time, Roxy just went to the vet about 2 weeks ago, and she got her deworming shot for the year. She got tested for heartworms through blood work, and Pet Dad took her that day because I was at work, but I'm sure they tested her with the little fecal hook that they put up in them and turn and pull it back out and analyze the poop. They check them that way, and then she got a, kennel cough? Well, right now I can't think of the kennel cough. I almost thought of it. Anyway, the kennel cough vaccination she got because she goes out in public. She goes to the vet's office, and if you take your dog anywhere, you need to make sure that they have that vaccine. And your vet will tell you that. It is a little pricey. But anyway, that entire vet visit was $199. You don't have to do all that at once. But please get your dogs dewormed if you're going to love them like we do and kiss on them and pet them and sleep with them and do all the things. If you're going to take them where they walk, where there's been other animals, if you don't have a fenced-in yard that no other animal gets in, like us, except we have squirrels running in our yard, we have rabbits, deer. They hop over the fence. We have a chain link fence, but we still have that. So anyway, if you have a cat, you need to change that litter box with gloves on. Change it often. Be sure your cats are dewormed as well. You can get serious illnesses from worm-infected pets. Your kids also can. For more information on this, look at yourpetandyou.elanco.com. Google, parasites in dogs and cats. Google any kind of question that you have about whether or not your dog could have worms, or you could have them. When I was a kid, which is a long time ago, we got worm twice a year. Our doctor actually gave our mom wormer for us, and it's been many years. I've not heard of that. I don't guess they do it anymore. I do. We do worm ourselves. I can't, because of YouTube giving me a ding on my channel. I can't say what we do, but it's over the counter and it's very effective, and we do that. We just do it because we're animal people, and we make sure our dogs are wormed because we can afford it. If you cannot afford it, start looking for home remedies, homeopathic ways to treat your dog, or go to your farm store. They used to sell a wormer at the farm store, TSC. They've got one everywhere around here. Tractor Supply Company. And they sold a wormer called Nemex, Nemex. And years ago, our vet actually sold us that. So I think you can get it, at the farm store now, or ask the farm store what's a good dewormer, know what your pet weighs, and tell them what you're wanting to do, and they'll give you the right dosage. There's over the counter stuff that you can use. It's probably not going to be as good as taking your pet and having them weighed and tested and all that at the vet, but it's something. That way you and your pet are safe. Your pet can get all kinds of illnesses, and you can, from parasites. So that was just a subject that I thought I would come up and speak on. I'm not an expert. I'm not a vet tech. I'm not even a vet. I've just had a lot of years of owning animals, and I research, I read, I print off, I study, I talk to other people that know, and this is my take on it. But check into that wormer shot if you can afford that, because it's over $50 cheaper a year, and you don't have to think about it every month. You just get it, and in a year you get another one. So, and also the kennel cough. If you take your dogs out anywhere, Bordetella, that's the name of that. If you take your dogs out anywhere, if you take them to a dog park, if you take them walking in the park, regular park on a leash, if you take them to a groomer, which if you have a golden doodle, you should be doing it, or you should do it yourself. They need that Bordetella because kennel cough will kill them. It's like a pneumonia, and it's really hard to get over. Roxy got it from the puppies going to the groomer, because she didn't ever go when we only had her. I groomed her myself. So it's really important that you do that. I've known of a couple of people that their dogs caught kennel cough. So do the Bordetella. If you can do the vaccines yearly, you should. Some towns require it. But for your own self and for your own health and safety, no edits will happen today, by the way. Just be sure your dogs are wormed, and enjoy your pets. Change those litter boxes with gloves on, and keep that litter clean. Thanks for watching. Bye. So I just want to say right here, a little bit extra. There's Miss Paris. She's got her little pants on. I don't know if you can see that. But she came into heat. She surprised me last Saturday. I wasn't really paying attention. I thought she would wait till around the first part of November to come in heat. And I'm expecting Bougie to come in because they're litter mates from the very same litter. And Roxy is spayed. She won't come in heat. But these two, we've been waiting until November to get their OFA testing. That was going to be the final thing that made us decide if we breed these two or not, because they have to be healthy in every way before we will. That's just a little bit of an update on both of them. I bet Pat does that. And so anyway, it's going to depend on what Bougie does, but it looks like it'll be a spring litter if they both come into heat before November the 23rd, and I'm sure they will, because Paris is already in, and Bougie will be right after her. That's how it was last time. We wanted them to come through 2 heat cycles before we bred them. So we are still looking for a health-tested male that we can use for stud service, or a guardian home if we buy a male puppy to use for our breeding. But the only reason why I don't want to own the dog is I was told by some very reputable friend breeders off of Ghana, go to Doodle Association of North America, that if you own your males, they'll start marking your house. They're going to drive you insane, crying all the time because the female's in heat, and there's going to be times you don't want to breed your female and you're going to have the male. I would welcome a 4th dog. I really would. I've had 4 dogs before. It's a lot of work, but I make sure they're all clean and our house is clean and they're taken care of and they get their vet care and stuff. But I'm just not going to be able to own the male because I don't want to deal with that. I don't know. It may come to that, but I don't think it will. I think I can find a male that I can either health test myself or that has been health tested. I've done it before. I paid money 2 or 3 times to health test dogs that weren't mine to try to see if I could breed them with my girls. But I want to make sure they're clear, definitely clear of ichthyosis, and that's all I'm waiting on. But it looks like we're going to have a spring litter if we find the male, because Paris is already in heat and Bougie will be coming right up behind her, and that'll be it for 6 more months. So anyway, that's the end of this video. Just wanted to give you a quick update on everything. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.